Moves in my heart, I'm gonna sing till the Spirit moves in my heart. I'm gonna sing till Jesus comes.
But they will go after some false prophecy because they want to hear that they are okay. They say, prophesy to us to cease. Prophesy smooth things. This is not a smooth message. This is rough, but it is reality. Let's go to Matthew. We almost done Matthew the 24th chapter. Because as I said, people, there's some terrible days ahead. Alright? There's some terrible days ahead. And then it's going to be the second coming of the Lord. But he warned about what was to take place prior to his coming. This is Matthew the 24th chapter and verse 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" So they wanted to know what is going, his disciples wanted to know what is going to happen prior to your coming. He tells them, the first thing he tells them, "And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you." Make sure that you are not deceived. That's what he told them, and I'm telling you. I'm reading the word. Make sure that no man deceives you. He says, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many." And you need to take heed that you are not deceived. Take heed that you are not deceived. In verse 11 it reads, "And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many." I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters, they have arisen. They have arisen, and they have stadiums full of people. Broad is the way that leadeth to death. Narrow and straight is that way that leadeth unto life. Multitudes of people are going down the wrong way. And they have false prophets in the head of that pack, leading them straight to hell. Don't be among those people. Matthew 15th chapter, this is it. Matthew the 15th chapter and verse 12. Because again, I stated this earlier about how the Pharisees, the scribes and the Pharisees came against Jesus and asked him, why does him and his disciples transgress the tradition of the elders, for they wash not their hands when they eat bread? And he told them, why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? Alright? You strain at a gnat, but you swallow a camel. Alright? So, he says, he told them about themselves, and he told them, in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines and commandments of men. And that's what many of these false prophets teach. They don't teach you what thus saith the Lord. They teach you commandments of men. Christmas, Easter, Sunday worship. All those are commandments of men. Alright? But then he goes on to, because the disciples came to him. In verse 12 it says, "Then came his disciples and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying?" Jesus answered them. He says, "But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up." He said, "Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall in the ditch." So if you are following after a false prophet, false teacher, false minister, a lying bishop, he's blind. And you are blind. And you are both headed for the ditch. I want to thank you for your time.